let's take a second to talk about truth. Truth. What is this word? True. How do we know what is true and what is not? The idea of a collective truth, a personal truth, truth and all that it could be, is something that I'm constantly exploring and investigating, really with my partners in healing, which are the goddesses that I'm able to guide through their journeys. And it's just this like ongoing process of trying to understand what is a truth, like what are the many truths, if not one truth. This investigation has been very interesting to me because what I've realized is from, the people I work with and in my own personal healing, truth has been important. To understand my truth, to understand where I maybe potentially lie on the spectrum of truth is very important. Because from a very young age, it feels like all the truths are laid out for us, right? The path of truth, the truth of who we are, the truth of society, the truth of this reality, the truth of all that is almost laid out. There is little room, if any, for investigation. And if you have gone down any path of personal liberation, then you know that the requirement to investigate further on your own is extremely important. Now, why do I want to create a video on truth? Like, why now? And it's because I've realized that 2020 has been such an important year because it has shook our truths. It has shook this truth of safety. It has shook this truth of being comfortable. It has shook this truth of what feels good and what doesn't. It's just it has shaken a lot of what we believe to be true. So this is a beautiful place to be because now investigation is required. Versus before, it was optional. You could choose to seek out your truth. You could choose to potentially go down the path of figuring out what does truth mean, what is true and what is not. And it feels like for 2020, we're being in some ways pushed to learning truth, because if not, then it feels uncomfortable. It feels like the world is just moving you and you're moving in whatever direction the world wants you to move in without really a sense of yourself, of your core, of how you play out to this song in this dance of life. So I want to encourage you to ask yourself what is true. And specifically, this is really important, specifically to what is true for you. Because in my 5 years of work, what I have noticed is what is true for me might not be true for you. And what is true for you might not be true for me. I think, again, from a young age, oftentimes your truth is not allowed to coexist and live with your parents' truth, perhaps, or family members. So we often think there is only one truth, when in reality there are multiple. I remember I watched this in a video where a man was talking about chakras, and he was saying how it was so silly that he had these two participants in his course argue over the fact of how many chakras do we have. And one of them was arguing that we only have 7, while others were arguing that we have 14. No, there's 7 chakras, there's 14. 7, and they were arguing. And then he stepped to them and for a second was like, hey, what if there's 7 chakras and there's 14? And there's both. Like, what if there's both? Right? Because in 14, there's the number 7. So in some ways, they're both being truthful in their statements. And the two statements are actually not going against each other, but are coexisting. For our liberation in this like healing process that we are going through as a collective, it is important to understand your truth and to stand in your truth, right? Because standing in your truth helps you calibrate my truth. And when you're not sharing your truth, you're not allowing me to see a piece of the truth, because what I fully believe at my deepest core is that all of our truth is the puzzle pieces to the collective truth, to the truth of all that is, but we each hold a piece of it. And if we can actually sit together and, discuss and explore and dissect, and we will realize that all our truths in some beautiful poetic way come together if we allow it to. But knowing your truth is so incredibly important. So if you are someone that is seeking what your truth is, and that's something that you want to further explore, that is something that I would love to guide you through your healing, through your journey back to self. The journey back to self requires a deep understanding of what your truth is in every circumstances, and not only what your truth is, but also how to find your truth when you are seeking it. I would love to be part of your journey. If this resonates, reply back to me. Let me know what you think, what resonates. And if you're someone that is looking to step deeper into your healing journey, please answer the call of your heart. If it's saying yes, book a clarity call with me, and let's dive deeper into your truth. Peace. I love you. Take care of yourself. And we shall talk soon.